In this video on Conductor Thursday live stream, we have our very special guest, TommyToonWorld. Sir, how's it been? I've only missed you for 4 days now, 5 days.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about HHN.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm ready
Yeah.
to talk HHN, and I'm jealous. Mondo's there right now, and he's enjoying that 80-degree weather, not the 110 that me and you had to go through for 3 days.
Yeah, 30 degrees cooler, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, must be nice. Gotta love it. Gotta
Yeah.
love it. Well, you guys are in tune for a great show tonight, so we're gonna jump right into it. So again, Tommy, it's great to have you back on the show. I know we did a live stream from the hotel room. That was a lot of fun, talking about the RIP tour we did the very first night of the event. Before we get started, though, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Conductor. It's always a good time. So you can find me on Instagram at TommyToon_ and on YouTube and X TommyToonWorld.
Yes, and for everyone that hasn't checked out TommyToonWorld's channel, he has a lot of great, amazing content. He has a lot of POV walkthroughs for the HHN event. He has even more content coming out with food reviews, with the Hello Kitty Cafe, which is going to be fire. He also covers a lot of UFC stuff, other theme park stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, Tommy, like we talked about last week, you are actually going to be coming out here in a week or so, back out here to do another round of HHN. You're doing Not Scary Farm, and you're doing Six Flags and Disney. So you have a lot of content coming out.
Yeah, I'm trying to lock it in. September's the month. I'll probably be back out there in October, but let's just run it down real quick. Not
Sure.
Scary Farm, me and you with Andre. That's going to be a fun time, man. Then Friday, I'm going to hit HHN, general admission, early entry. Then Saturday, I'm going to hit Fright Fest. I got the Fright Pass that is like fast lane. And then on Sunday, I'm going to hit all the Halloween foods at Disneyland with Theme Park Wizard. So hopefully it all works out, you know.
And believe me, Wizard's going to concoct some magic on that one. So you better be ready for that one.
Yeah, I better wait, man.
Oh, definitely. So I know we kind of talked about it on last week's live stream. I just want to kind of briefly go back to it for anyone that missed it. What did you think, besides the weather? Because I know the weather kind of sucked the opening weekend at HHN. It was just hot. What did you think overall on the RIP experience?
Man, the RIP tour went really fast. Like it was pumping. Like my tour guide got us in all 8 houses, the buffet in the beginning,
Sure.
both shows, and she walked us through all the scare zones. So we definitely locked in that night. That was a fun, crazy night. And then me and you linked up after, and we got a lot done. So I mean, I can't complain. I really like the food. I like the ribeye the most at the buffet.
Oh, the ribeye is awesome. And then for everyone that doesn't know, that's never done it before, that wants to do it, it is a little expensive, but you get valet parking and you get an exclusive lanyard, which is this. This right here is fire. Then you have the lanyard attached to it, which is fire, and you get to keep this for the entire night, and even after the event's over for that night, you get to keep it. That's a souvenir only for you. No one has that ability to get it besides you and anyone else doing the RIP tour. So that's That's amazing. Then one thing I want to touch upon that I brought up last week was the fact that last year, Universal, I don't know if John Murdy has something to do with it, but definitely Universal tried to go a different approach with the RIP tour, where you as an RIP tour guest, went through the RIP tour line with your tour guide. But after that happened, you can only use Express. So you were paying the most amount of money for a ticketed event. But after your tour guide was done with you for the night, you had 3 hours, you got thrown in an Express. And then this year, they changed it back to what it originally was, where you can use the RIP tour line whether you're with your tour guide or not. Did you think from last year to this year it was a much better experience because of that reason?
Much better experience. The RIP tour line is true front of the line experience. They get you in and out as soon as you can. Express kind of backs up a little bit, and general admissions, a little swamped. So yeah. I definitely enjoyed the RIP line a lot.
Okay. No, that's totally fair. And I enjoy it, because if you're going to spend that type of money, you want to get the value out of it. And I just kind of feel what they did last year really didn't work out. And I'm glad they went back to their original ways. Oh, definitely. So I know we also brought up last week about what we thought about the houses, but that was only one night doing the event. We did 3 nights. So we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Does your opinion change on your top 3? And can you enlighten everyone that may have not watched last week what your top 3 were?
Yeah, sure. So what we were doing last week is we were talking about just one day of attendance. Sure. We hit 3 days. So I am still going with Texas Chainsaw Massacre being my favorite, but I think it's top 2 scariest. I think Insidious may take the cake. I think Insidious is the scariest, but then Texas is the goriest.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, but what I enjoyed all the houses, first of all. So I did say dead exposure, but sitting on it for a week,
yeah,
I think I liked Universal Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines more than Dead Exposure, because for some reason Dead Exposure, it was fun, but I'm not sure if I liked all the actors missing all the time. A lot of the houses had missing actors, but
sure.
Yeah. So top 3, I think The Weeknd, Insidious, and Texas.
Okay. And I kind of feel like at least 2 out of the 3 houses you chose, there's different reasons why. Can you elaborate why you chose all 3 of those?
Well, The Weeknd has the best facade by far. But let me tell you, John Murdy and the team did a solid on all the facades. The Universal Monsters facade is crazy looking. It feels like you're walking into Van Helsing's castle.
Yes,
the gate and everything in the front with the daughter, that one is fire. But the Weeknd facade, the line's going to get long because everybody's going to go see The Weeknd, right? Man, sure. They have After Hours Weekend and Dawn FM Weekend DJing his music up there before you get into the house. And the budget for The Weeknd looked pretty crazy. I mean, the budget looked pretty crazy for all the houses, but The Weeknd was one of the longer houses with Insidious. I would say those 2 in Texas had a really long time, even if you were getting backed up or if you were rushing through. Like I mentioned, I do love all the houses. I may not mention Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters was fire. That's a nice little break from all the, the crazy, gruesome scares, because that one had jump scares, but it was more fun.
Oh, absolutely. And let me see if I have a picture of it. By the way, I know it's a sidetrack for a second. Me and Tommy both picked this up. Fire. I, I know I said to you, not to the community. I was thinking about selling it. I don't know. It's grown attached to me. I don't think I'm going to sell it. I think I'm going to hold on.
Same here. I'm going to hold on to it.
Hold on to it. Because funny story, Tommy, you want to tell it?
So let me start. So we found out that there's only 50 copies that are signed, sold each night of HHN, and they don't start until 7 p.m. So if you grab that early entry for 5:30 and you wait in line at the main Universal store, you're going to get it. Brandon has another spot where you could get it. You want to drop that on him?
So I found out. So me and Tommy initially, as soon as we went into the gates doing the early entry, we went into the main Universal store, which is on the upper lot, right past the little fountain with the statues and whatnot. So we went in there, and I talked to a cast member, and they said, well, here's the deal. I'm going to pull you aside because there was already 15 people already in that little section right there ready to buy it. And more people were coming. So I started walking away, me and Tommy, and he kind of caught up with me, and he's like, hey, I'm going to give you a little secret. The lower lot, the Transformers vault, or the former Transformers vault, the store down there, which is now Production Central for the time being, you could buy it down there. So go wait down there. So me and Tommy started trekking our way down there. I decided to wait for it because I wasn't sure how it was going to go down. We met a very nice gentleman. I forgot his name, and I'm sorry. Donovan.
Shout out Donovan.
Shout out to Donovan. Guy was absolutely incredible. We talked to him. I talked to him for a while. Tommy, you did some of the houses, and I think you did a food review, and then you came back, and all three of us started talking. This guy literally has connections all over the place. I could spend a whole entire live stream talking about it, but I'm not going to do that. But this guy had connections all over the place, knows a lot of people, actors, actresses, movie producers, director. The guy was connected. So it was a fun time hanging out with Donovan while we're waiting for this. So as soon as we bought it, me and Tommy both, we sent it up to the main Universal store. So I want to reiterate for everybody that buys merchandise, including this album, that if you buy something and you're at a Universal store, you can always ask them to send it to the main Universal store upstairs on the upper lot, so you don't have to carry your items around all night. So just keep that in mind. But Tommy, I'm going to go back to you. Who we run into at Waterworld, or should I say the Purge show?
Yeah, the Purge show, RIP night. We got to sit on the second bleacher seat to the top, and the people behind us in that group, Slash was amongst them.
He was.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't want pictures. But I dapped him up. He dapped me up hesitantly, he didn't want to be bothered. But sure. I totally get it. He was trying to enjoy the show with his family.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting about that, Tommy, and I want to bring this up, is the mere fact, because I had a similar experience. I was at the Hilton Hotel. That's where we did last week's Conductor Thursday live stream. And I was checking out of the hotel, getting ready to hang out in the lobby and try to upload some videos while I kind of wait to get closer. And then me and you met up at City Walk. So I'm passing by reception after I check out, and I ran into Milton. The guy is, oh my God. So I kind of started walking away for a second, and he was just standing there for like a brief minute. I went back up to him. I'm like, sir, I don't mean to be rude, but are you Mel Gibson? Can I take a picture or at least talk to you for a couple minutes? He's like, well, I really don't want a picture, and I don't want to draw attention to myself. I'm just here for a little bit, but I'll talk to you for a minute. So I wound up talking to him. Very nice guy. He's kind of like a Will Ferrell. And believe it or not, it's kind of bizarre to say that because you wouldn't think that, but he's definitely a different type of person when he's not on camera, or he's not surrounded by a mob, as I'm going to call it. But he's really a down to earth guy. And I said, well, you probably have mansions all over the place. What are you doing at this hotel? And he starts saying, well, to be honest with you, son, I'm just here kind of just relaxing. I'm actually headed down to Universal to meet up with some producers and whatnot, and then I'm heading over to Warner Brothers. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, Mr. Gibson, it was a absolute honor meeting you. I'm glad I met you, because I'll probably never get this opportunity ever again. And I shook his hand, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever done in my life. And then I started heading to my car to, take more of my gear to my car. And I talked to a bellhop, and it's funny because they said, I kind of saw you ran into Mel Gibson. I'm like, yeah, I did. And the gentleman told me, oh, it's not the first time Mel Gibson comes in here. He comes in here a lot. I'm like, wow, that's a shocker. And then he's like, believe it or not, there's so many actors and actresses that come to our hotel. I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome that you guys have that type of popularity, that you would have A-list celebrities coming to your hotel and just hanging out and drinking a martini, roaming around the lobby. So that was pretty cool to do. Then I'm going to go back to Tommy on this. Actually, what's funny is, right after we met Slash, and I want to tell everyone here, I met up with Tommy at the show because we were both doing the RIP, so we both sat in the same section. I didn't even know it was Slash. So I sat next to Tommy. Tommy's kind of like tapping my shoulder. I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? He's like, hey, don't draw too much attention, but Slash is sitting behind us. So I kind of take a quick look, and he looks at me. He's like, he nods his head. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I was excited because I like Slash. I Guns N' Roses and all. Dude is fire. I love him. He's a legend. He'll always be a legend in my mind. So that was very cool to do. As we're exiting the show, you know what? Let me see if I could pull it up. But why don't you tell who else we ran into while I try to find it?
Yeah, actually, we were walking out and we saw the man himself, John Murdy.
Okay, here we go. So this is just a 7-second clip. I know it's not long, but let me see if I can play the audio. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try it. Let me see. Here we go.
I'm with the man himself, John Murdy, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. My name's Tommy.
Thanks for supporting us.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
So John Murdy is the creative director of HHN. The guy is absolutely incredible. I've met him in years past because I've been going to the event since 2016, and the guy is absolutely awesome. He actually grew up in the same city I did, in Whittier. So that was very cool. We kind of bonded over that multiple times when I've ran into him. So that was very cool. A lot of times he likes to, at least the first weekend, and maybe the second weekend as well, he likes to walk around HHN, check out the houses, check out the scare zones, meet up with celebrities, give them an escort. So it's very cool that he actually engages with guests. Because when it comes to big corporations, like, for example, Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro at Disneyland, don't get me wrong. They walk around Main Street. They do meet up with guests and whatnot, but they're always surrounded by security. Like, you can meet them for like maybe a moment, but that's it. you can't really do anything else because they're surrounded by so much security. So that kind of sucks. It's the same thing with Slash. Slash is pretty noticeable with his hair and all that. So it's kind of interesting. He just kind of blends in with everyone else. And if you see him, Tommy, you didn't really have a problem saying hi to him at the very least. He kind of gave you a fist bump, did he not?
Yeah, and you know what? I think maybe he didn't want pictures and stuff because it's like his daughter passed away in July.
Yeah,
so maybe that has to do with it.
Yeah, his daughter. They're going through some very bad family problems, from what I understand. His daughter did commit suicide, and I'm very sorry that happened. My thoughts and prayers goes out to him and his family. Why they're dealing with that? That's just a horrible ordeal. But going back to John Murdy, though, he doesn't have security around him. He's roaming around the park at night. So if you see him, just like you could see in the 7-second clip, I'm sure we could have filmed a little bit more, but he was looking for Slash. That's his buddy. So he was looking for Slash, but he took a minute to meet up with me and Tommy. So that was very cool to do. He's just awesome. He's like that. He has that personality. So that's awesome. That's very awesome. I want to bring up, we do have that horror guy in the chat. He brought up 2 chats. Nice. So the first one, he said, when I was there on Sunday, someone passed out in front of me while in line for TCM early entry. I was hot as AF. I'm not going to read that part because I don't want to get censored, but we get where you're coming from last weekend. So me and Tommy were pretty adamant when we did our Conductor Thursday last week on Friday, and we mentioned multiple times during the show, please stay hydrated. They said last weekend for HHN has been the absolute hottest it's ever been, and it wasn't just hot, it was like a dry heat. So there was humidity behind it, and it made it really bad. And me and Tommy were not kidding around about it, but we were pointing out left and right when we were walking with each other all weekend, going to different houses, how busy the paramedics and the fire department were.
Yeah, there was at least 5 the first day. It was rough. You got to stay hydrated. We're waiting in line for early entry. I gave somebody my electrolyte pack. I'm rolling out there with a lot. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you get water. They don't let you bring in water bottles unless it's an empty container. You'll be all right. Like when the sun goes down, the heat's still bad, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's coming back to that heat. Everybody stay safe in those wildfires. LA is going through a lot right now.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was telling Tommy earlier because I live in Riverside County, not as close to the fire. I live maybe about 30, 40 miles away from it, but the effects are still affecting me per se. The other day I had like a full, like almost what you would see like if you're in the mountains during the winter and you get a blanket of snow on your car. Well, it wasn't snow that's on my car. It was ashes from the fire. So I immediately had to go wash that off because I didn't want ashes eating at my car, like the pain and all that. So, yeah, but definitely to Tommy's point, definitely stay hydrated. That is the number one defense you have against the heat. And just because this weekend it's in the 80s does not mean it's still not going to be hot. So
also make sure you eat.
Yes.
You're going to be standing. It's okay to walk, but when you're standing in that GA line or you're standing in Express for 10, 15 minutes, you need some fuel. You got to eat. It doesn't have, maybe not sugar, but, you can hit Leatherface's barbecue. You could get some ribs. You could get a sandwich, a brisket sandwich.
And Tommy, since you brought that up, let's dive into that for a second. You tried both items. I think there was a total of 3 items. There was that mile
It's
long
like
hot
3
dog.
or 4. Yeah, that hot dog looked crazy, bro.
I
That's
wasn't
all.
even going to attempt to buy that and try to eat that. But
Yeah.
you had the brisket sandwich, and what was the other item?
The ribs.
The ribs. Okay, so explain to everybody what you thought of that.
The brisket sandwich was really good. I just noticed they usually use the same barbecue sauce. It almost tastes like the Chucky pulled pork sandwiches last time, which is
Sure.
all right. I'm cool with that. But I love brisket, so I'm cool with that. But the ribs were crazy.
Oh,
Those ones, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised those were even at a theme park.
yeah, and I actually tried it myself, and they were actually pretty good. And did they not say that they had some type of, I think it was Coca-Cola or Dr. I think it was Coca-Cola flavor in the
Yeah,
sauce.
so I'm glad they changed the barbecue sauce for the ribs. Good call. Yeah, it had Coca-Cola flavored barbecue sauce. That's
Definitely.
crazy, right?
Oh, definitely. And then just to pivot a little bit more, since I do have it on the screen, we did lose on September the 9th, 2 days ago, or 3 days ago. We lost an absolute legend to the movie genre, James Earl Jones. He died. I think he was 93, but the guy had a lot of great movies and TV shows and voiceovers he did. Truthfully, I'm going to know him as Darth Vader because I love Darth Vader. He's the OG villain for me. But again, 93, and for the career he had, he was one of those guys that, again, if he was in the public, he would, again, he's one of those guys that you can go up to him, you can say hi, maybe he would take a picture with you, but he's not like a lot of actors nowadays where they're very stubborn. They don't want any type of fan interaction whatsoever. He was kind of old school, and I think a lot of people are going to miss that because the new generation of actors and actresses, they are not like that anymore.
Yeah, I remember him from Lion King.
Yes.
Star Wars, of course, and then Sandlot.
Sandlot, of course. No, Sandlot's just one of those. Even Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is another big one. So, again, I want to say for him and his entire family, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. But I do have to say he lived a wonderful life, and he will always be remembered forever. Absolutely forever. So, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. You had a hell of a life and a hell of a career, without a doubt. So pivoting some more. So I know you talked about your top 3 houses. I'm going to talk about for a second what my top 3 were. So
yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so my top 3 had to have been The Weeknd. So The Weeknd's in the top 3. I want to say it's top number 1, but The Weeknd is there because of the facade. When it comes, like Tommy was saying earlier, the facade, honestly, they spent money. They didn't cheap.
Why don't you pull it up?
Yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can. Let me see if I do have it on my Twitter or not. I don't remember if I do or not. Did you put
it on your YouTube?
Oh, you know what? Let's do that. Actually, we'll do that. I think did you have a good video of The Weeknd? You want me to pull that one up?
I have Ghostbusters and Insidious.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do The Weeknd. I don't know how good of a capture I did, but I think I did pretty well. So we're gonna go with mine here. Here we go. I didn't capture the facade though. I didn't capture the facade. So let me pull up the facade real quick on Google so everyone can see what I'm talking about. But I want to ask you why I'm trying to pull this up. What did you honestly think about Texas? Because I know you told me that it kind of freaks you out. What freaked you out?
Because all the gore in it, man. The slashers. That's what gets me. Right when you walk into Texas, it's just every chainsaw, Leatherface guy known to man. It's pretty rough. Like, I don't know. if some people are going to be able to handle it.
Okay, so going back to the weekend, this is the facade we saw, and they had the Young Weekend, which is based off what album was it? I forgot already.
After Hours.
After Hours, and then they had this guy that kind of had a screwed up face,
He's from Dawn FM.
Dawn FM. So when we look at this facade here, this is not just like a wood plank facade and then they put like a silk covering over it. They actually took time to build the individual buildings, put light through them, add all these different elements to it. So honestly, out of 9, like 1 out of 10, what did you think this facade was? Did you think it was 10 out of 10?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. They called it the Purgatory. You can see it right there in the corner. Like I said, they're keeping you entertained and distracted while you wait in line, because that is by far the longest line. It's the Weekend and Insidious I seen with the highest number of minutes. You know, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Insidious, I think the first 2 nights we were there, it literally stuck to 80 minutes.
80 or higher.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And they put the GA in the parking garage, and it was just hot.
Yeah. Wizard was saying it last night on his, he had his live stream with Universal High, because it's funny. Ever since I had him on my show, then Mondo did it on Twitter Spaces, and then obviously Ethan from Theme Park Wizard did it. And I'm glad.
Shout out Ethan.
Oh, shout out to Wizard. Guy is absolutely amazing. But I'm glad that he's getting interviewed by multiple people. He deserves that, because the content he puts out on Twitter is just absolutely incredible, without a doubt. But we're going to actually watch the weekend. I don't think there's going to be any copyright issues, because I've had this video up for 4 days and not a problem. So I'm going to play it for you all with the sound. And Tommy, if for whatever reason, if you want me to stop, just let me know and I'll pause it, okay?
All right.
All right. Is that still too loud, or are we good? Okay, let me turn it down. So he came right at me, dude.
Yeah, maybe turn the volume off.
Okay, turn the volume off. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me do that.
Right here, unfortunately, he's not there, but this is part of the new Weekend album. So he is basically doing nitrous right there in the dentist chair. He's in the same robe he wore in Brazil. So that was the part that was new. Absolutely.
And then obviously the Dawn FM version of the weekend is new as well, because that wasn't there 2 years ago. So
yeah, I heard people saying that house was better than this one. I didn't get to experience that one, but this one had a budget.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, this one was going hard. What'd you think? Could you compare both of them? Did you like this one better or the one from 2022?
So I have to say, because the one from 2 years ago, the facade looked okay. Mm-hmm. This one definitely has a way better facade, but I will say that the one from 2 years ago, because it had, the music from, the album After Hours was Saving Tears, Blinding Lights, and one or two other songs from that album. It just made the whole house fun, because that album, if I'm not mistaken, that album's like platinum or close to it. It has to be.
So was this scarier then, since it didn't have the music?
I think so. There was a lot of good scares. Obviously, we missed that one because the scare actor was out. But the scare actor, just to kind of let everyone know, it kind of looked like a giant eyeball like you're looking at, but she had hair like Medusa. It was weird.
Yeah, like no matter what I cannot emphasize enough. It's not enough time if you just go through a house once. You're gonna miss something. There's gonna be a different scare actor in a different spot. No matter what, you have to hit it multiple times. I probably say I hit every house like 4 times over the whole weekend, and
Yeah.
I still didn't get some of the jump scares. Like, so I'm excited to go back. It's different every time you walk through, different times throughout the night. Everybody's changing out.
Yeah.
Just push through. Just keep going. Keep going. You didn't see it all.
Absolutely. And to Tommy's point, though, I feel like last year also, because Tommy, you were with me with that, and we did basically the same thing we did this year with the RIP tour. The first night, GA the second night, and then Express Unlimited the third night.
Yeah.
This is going to be our plan from going here on out. But I remember last year, because it wasn't so hot, it was in the 80s. A lot of the scare actors, if not pretty much all the scare actors, were in the house. There was
I
no
agree with you, Brandon.
scare actors because with the heat and with the humidity, because you have to think about it. When you're wearing heavy duty costumes and whatnot, you know, you're going to sweat a lot more. You're going to get tired a lot more. And they had to switch out characters in each house, not just certain houses, all houses, every 5 to 10 minutes, because it was that bad with the heat and the humidity. It was that ugly.
But while we're doing this, do you want to pull up your Terror Tram?
Yes. So I'm
man, the scare actors in the scare zones, they were holding it down in the heat. Like the crows, I noticed one was out there for like 20 minutes straight. I don't know how long they could last in those suits, but I thought that was pretty good. Anyways, yeah. Oh my God, you got it at nighttime.
I did get it at nighttime, and you're going to put your video out pretty soon because you shot it in the daytime, which is on your channel right now, but you're also going to debut the night version. I kind of
I'm pumping out all those first, but I like your copy.
Oh yeah, I felt like the night version kind of it did a nice pairing with the Terror Tram, because you can't really be terrified on the Terror Tram in the middle of the day when there's sunlight. You know, you want to be roaming around in the dark where you can't hardly see nothing. And again, compared to previous Terror Trams, whoever's been going to the event for years, and I mean years, like I have since 2016, I could tell you right now, this is the most budget they have spent on a Terror Tram ever. They put money into this Terror Tram. Like, I'm not even joking. They put some money into this.
They killed it with all of the Megan scenes going into Happy Death Day and then into Black Phone. Because Black Phone, that movie's fire to me. I don't know why. I like the elements, how they bring in a little bit of magic at the end and stuff, how she could like read and see and have a vision of where her brother's at. That movie is fire. Look at this scene right here. This is sick.
Yeah. She's spraying them with like poison or something. It was bizarre. And then this
I've never seen Freaky. Did you see Freaky?
I don't think so. But again, this part is kind of shaky for me because you can see from the video how many people they are cramming into that. And I'm like, I kind of got a little frustrated. I'm like, why are you cramming so many people through right now? Kind of like spread the wealth. But it was pretty like crowded in this one little section of Bates Motel. It was pretty bad.
I want to kind of do a short or a reel or maybe a small YouTube video when I go back. I'm going to get the house capacity for haunted houses. They had the house capacity sign on every house we walked in. And I noticed one said 283, and I think that was for A Quiet Place, which would be the old Walking Dead. So I don't see a lot of people reporting on the capacity. Of course, Terror Tram might be a little different because it's outside, but they were cramming people in. And I get it because it's swamped. The day we went for general admission and express, it was swamped. Like, that's just my term I use. but it was crowded as all can be.
Oh God, yeah, it was packed. It was packed beyond belief. So
this part's good right here. I wonder if you got it.
I don't know. You have to tell me you're looking for the part.
So okay, he pops out right there.
Yeah, then, but he goes back in. But watch what happens. I think I got it because he comes right at my camera.
Nice.
Yeah, he comes right.
And then dude sleep. He's sleep. Ooh, that one's good too.
Oh, I'll get him. You watch this.
Tell me all four costumes of Ethan Hawke's character. Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, he comes
that's
right.
The one.
All four of them come at me. I'm like, holy crap, dude!
And then I don't remember this guy in a red shirt, but
I don't either.
That is one of the costumes. It has to be.
I don't. But it's funny. Right at the corner, right there with the last scare actor, there were two LA sheriff deputies right there, and they're just like literally laughing because they thought it was funny. They came like literally like not even half a foot away from my face, and it was awesome though because I got the capture, so that was awesome. But they were laughing. I thought it was great. So everyone's
pretty good.
And then I want to talk about this because it's going to take me a minute to hike up this hill. And again, you can see how many people are trying to cram themselves up there. What do you think about this Hollywood sign in blood? What do you think about that?
I loved it because for the 60th anniversary studio tour, I saw the regular Hollywood sign. So to be able to walk by it, especially during night with the blood coming down, looked crazy because all I thought of was Post Malone's song, Hollywood is Bleeding.
Yes. So that could have been an Easter egg to that. Even though it probably had intentions to be, it could have been.
Yeah, I could actually see a Post Malone house eventually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could see it.
He's on the same level as The Weeknd. They wouldn't go any lower of an artist. I think we could get a Post Malone house if he was interested. After his little country run that he's doing.
And from what I understand, that Hollywood sign, not the bloody version. So I want to make it clear that Hollywood sign is here to stay. That Hollywood sign was part of the 60th anniversary, and from what I understand, Universal and the Chamber of Commerce of LA, the ones in charge of maintaining the big Hollywood sign on top of the hill, which you can probably see better from the LA Observatory, which I've been to. They actually worked with Universal to put the mini one, a permanent installation for Universal. So once the HHN event is done, they probably will take down the bloody version and put the normal version back. But who knows?
Decals.
Oh yeah, probably. Or they might decorate it to Christmas and maybe have a Grinch theme. That would be sick. That would be dope. So who knows? So, and these guys were great. I love the Purge. The
Purge characters were really good. We had the Abraham Lincoln one. We had the chick with the baby saying, "Please help me. This is my baby." We had the all the political ones were fire, especially the year we're in.
Yeah. It was definitely a great complimentary thing to bring back the Purge, especially for the they went with the election year version of the Purge. So I'm glad they did that because we are going through a election for our next president for the country. So that was kind of cool because I know a lot of people are sick and tired of the Purge, but I'm like, if you're going to have the Purge anywhere, I think the Terror Tram, and for the second year in a row having it at the Waterworld show was absolutely fire.
That Waterworld show, the Purge Dangerous Waters is far superior. I love that show.
God, yeah. It was very cool. I'm hoping next year, though, they bring a different property. I think they have plenty of Blumhouse movies they can incorporate into Waterworld. I don't know what it would be. I just don't think they would probably lose fan interest if they decide to do the Purge again for the third time. So hopefully John Murdy has a plan for that, because technically the Purge show, and then they also had the Chucky show. It's kind of almost like a Tonight Show version of Chucky, and he's roasting people. And while we're walking through this, it's almost done. While we're walking through this, you did the Chucky show. I did not, because you kind of told me it was lackluster. It was okay. It wasn't something to go running to. What was your honest opinion though of it?
So they have 2 months to add a little to it. I think I noticed that so in the beginning, before you walk in, they have you scan the QR code and they give you like 90 seconds to send a question. I noticed that they answered 3 or 4 fan questions, and then the 5th one was a planted question where it progresses the show to Chucky to go kill somebody. So when they were asking the fan questions, no one would raise their hand answering that they asked the question. They're embarrassed. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they don't want to talk in front of everybody, because that's understandable. So maybe they should have curated questions, or I'm going to go with what Five Fire said. Maybe have the host come up to whoever's outgoing in the crowd that wants to talk in front of people, raising their hand. Then they would walk up with the microphone, and then you could interact with Chucky. That would be cool. I've never interacted with Chucky before.
Yeah, I kind of feel your feeling on that. A lot of people don't want to get up and be broadcasted like that. I'm just going to say broadcasted. I know that's probably not the word, but being broadcasted in front of an audience, people might feel uncomfortable. So I understand that. Hopefully they do fix that problem.
But I would love it. So, like, if I was able to raise my hand and he came up to me and I was like, "Hey, Chucky, what would you do to me if I proposed to Tiffany?" Then he could attack me or verbally attack me. I don't care what he says. It's just now the show's directed on Chucky and the main person in the audience. That is, but you don't know what the rules are. I don't know the stipulations.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, it's something to check out, but definitely compared to last year where we had the Five Nights at Freddy animatronics in the lobby of the DreamWorks Theater, and to get up close and personal and take pictures and do like little vlogs with them. And they had other stuff too. They had many different costumes from many different Blumhouse properties in that lobby. And then they had the Megan dancers dancing. So that was pretty cool for the show.
Man, this Insidious one's going hard.
It's going really hard. Should we do that one first?
Yeah, because we got to go light with Ghostbusters after, because this one is intense. We're not going to play the sound, but the sounds are intense. Look at that at night. That facade is possibly the second best facade.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. So, you walk through and maybe, they have all the drawings from the movie. I hope you guys saw the movie, even though it's not as good as The Last Key. This monster is scary as hell. He got that old man haircut with the bald spot, and he like creeps on you. Dude, it's sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're in it. And I'm not going to roast them, but I'm going to roast them. Orlando, I just watched Ordinary Adventures house review for all the houses in Orlando. And they are not the same as Hollywood. I think the Hollywood is a step up in everything compared to, I don't know if you've seen any of the houses, but they just don't look scary at all.
So, it's a great point you brought up, because I brought this up even with Mondo from Five Fires and a couple other people. Even Park Wizard, that was a good scare. When Hollywood and Orlando share the same properties for HHN, you can definitely, and I mean definitely, tell a difference in quality.
Yes,
and scares. You can tell.
So I feel like Florida is going the southern route.
Sure.
And they're more or less Mardi Gras, dress up, beads, costumes are really extravagant. it's a different type of entertainment because they're going the southern route. It's
Yeah.
just we got John Murdy and we got Hollywood Studios. It's insane. The props, the sounds, the lighting. It's insane. If you live in Florida, come check out Hollywood
Oh,
because
sure.
it's totally different.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. You know, as we're watching this, you know, you can't complain with the quality. You just cannot. You can't compare it. There's, you know, that's why I kind of said, you know, kind of derailing off the point for a second. You know, like Six Flags. Apparently, Mondo was there. Bunch of YouTubers were there opening night, and I think that was Saturday when me and you, Tommy, were at HHN. That was probably the 7th, I believe it opened. Apparently
Okay, pause it.
yeah. Hold on. Oh boy, let me go back. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, let me play and then tell me when to stop.
You can stop it right here.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
No, go ahead. Finish. I want to hear it.
No, I was going to say there was a lot of disappointment with Six Flags. A lot of the houses in the scare zones wound up not opening. And they didn't open the first night, the second night, the third night. And Six Flags, a lot of people were impressed because they had a lot of properties. I mean, a lot. They had Stranger Things. They had Saw. They had 11 different houses they were supposed to bring to the event. So they're going through a rough patch at the moment. But going back to Hollywood and Orlando, when they share the same property, you just can't compare. Hollywood is always going to be the superior version. We just have that. We have that type of connection, and we have that type of ability to make it almost like you're on the movie set of the movie, walking through it.
100%. I'm with you on that, Conductor. So looking at this scene, I had him pause you on. So this is pretty intense. They had a guy vomiting, and then the jump scare with the flashing lights and the sound of the guy with all the vomit on his chin and his body. So they had a vomit smell in here, and I felt really bad for the employees that had to stand there. And I noticed that they changed out really quick.
Yeah,
they had a mask on.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, especially when, you know, people are kind of feeling dread already because it was so hot and humid outside, and then trying to smell that, it just added the trifecta of just feeling horrible.
And they actually stopped the smell. It wasn't there on Saturday. The smell was completely gone.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they removed it for the workers or maybe they removed it for the pass goers, but this scene isn't the same without the smell. But I don't need to smell it. But it's lost its knack if the smell's not there.
Oh, definitely. And then you were reminding me all weekend, even the first night we went. And it's funny because you told me in your RIP tour group, because I wasn't with you. You did the 5 p.m. RIP tour. I did the 5:20. So we were in two separate groups. But you kept mentioning to your group how long the houses were. And of all the houses, your group on each house you guys went to, they kept asking, okay, well, what was the film time on this house? But you said, I'm going to let you say, what did you say would be the longest house at the event this year?
Okay, so going back and looking at my footage this week, I noticed that it's probably going to be a minute or two, give or take, depending how big of a crowd is in front of you and if you're able to progress quickly. So I noticed one of my Insidious videos was at 6:40, so 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And then the other one was at 5:45. So that house in Texas are probably the longest to me. The shortest was Ghostbusters clocking in at like 3:30. But I also got a Ghostbusters video up to 5 minutes past. So it really just depends. I would say it goes faster if the scare actors aren't in positions. If you have all the scare actors or the majority of them, it's going to be a longer time because you have more of a focal point and there's an action occurring.
Absolutely, and it also brings up the point how many people they're cramming in the house. If there's a tech glitch or someone gets lost or passes out or something, that can add to it as well. Because a lot of us that go into these houses and film or even walk through them and maybe not film, but a lot of us do film for content. Going through the first time, it might not be the same as the second or third time you go through it.
Right.
For sure.
That's a complete, you guys got to roll with that because it's completely true. He's being honest. I love all the scare actors. So, they got to do what they got to do. So you just have to make an effort to go back multiple times to catch that other scene if you missed it. It's not on the scare actors. They are doing a tremendous job.
Oh, absolutely. And shout out to the scare actors because again, wearing the heavy costumes they probably wear, the prosthetics, the masks, dealing with the heat, the sound that they have to do, acting on the exact cue they're supposed to come out and scare guests. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. So definitely shout out to them. But we're gonna watch your Ghostbusters video because I'm jealous. You caught a scene in here, and we're gonna that scene right there. But we'll get to that.
That's hard right there.
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah,
they started having issues with the lighting effects of that vehicle, so I wasn't able to capture that. So that kind of sucked. But
honestly, the RIP tour, the first walkthrough, the car was dead.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so when I talked to someone on Saturday, because I had Express Unlimited, so did you. I talked to one of the people. It looked like a manager because each house usually has a supervisor and a manager just to make sure things are running right, and they do have a direct line to maintenance and John Murdy himself, just in case something happens. But from the manager I talked to at Ghostbusters, they said they had a power outage at Ghostbusters, so it got delayed. And then when they reactivated it and did a walkthrough before they let guests in, they couldn't get the car working. Yeah.
So these houses are a small movie set, and things go down mid horror night, and they try to bounce back, and they recoup. They may add more actors in different spots just to fill that spot, or they do recover. Let me tell you, and it's quick. They got a pump.
Yeah, because the longer they wait to get the house back online, if they're able to, the longer the waits are. Because I have noticed in years past, and probably it's going to happen this year as well. I think most of the nights, the event's going to go to the 2 a.m. But I've seen it in years past where the event closes at 2 a.m., but a house might have such a long line. They have to feed everyone through that's already in the line, and they're still letting guests out at 3 o'clock in the morning because they can't kick people out of the line. If they're already there, they have to feed them through.
Right. So the first night, Thursdays goes till 1 a.m. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday goes till 2 a.m. I stayed till the end every night except Friday. I left at 1 instead of 2. But like Brandon said, the chainsaw chase out ends at 2, but the park is still full. So you could probably linger. You could probably buy some merch too after too. I haven't checked.
Yeah, you can kind of get away with that. Now, trying to get into a house, probably not, because usually they'll have cast members in front telling you, hey, we're closed, and that they're only accommodating the guests that are already in the line for the house.
Yeah.
But definitely shopping. I don't know about dining. Dining might be a little more strict, but definitely shopping. This was a good scare. Very good.
That was my favorite. Not scare, but that was a good scare. My favorite scenes coming up. It's like the Ghostbusters sign in snow, and then we get Baraka.
Yes, that was a
That part
classic
is sick,
moment.
dude. And it's hard when he's not there. The stilts actor,
Yeah.
it's tough because you're looking for him. Oh, look, you see him creeping around the corner.
That was awesome.
That scene is hard.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Then I'm wondering if this Baraka goes to the last scene or if there's two in the house.
I think there's two. There has to be.
There has to be, right?
Yeah.
Because I missed that Baraka twice at the end scene that we'll see. So luckily he was in this one with the car and everything. This was solid. Look, she looked right at me.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. The scare actors love the camera.
Yeah, look at that. You can't tell me seeing that thing lit up and with sirens and all that. That wasn't awesome. That was
awesome. This house was sick.
This was dope right here. Look at this. That was sick. That was sick. I'm not gonna lie. That was awesome.
I love it. And then right here, man, these three scenes back to back were killing it.
Oh yeah, you did a great job on this. Yeah, that Baraka looks awesome, dude. And like Tommy said, if you watch his footage of all of his houses, you watch my POVs of the houses, you can tell just by looking at it, you can tell without a doubt that the creatures in each house, the monsters, they literally went at the camera. Like they wanted to be on camera. So they were, because I don't know if anyone watching this live stream has ever seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. When a scare actor pops out, if you're able to see, they have little monitors. And what the monitors show the scare actor is who's passing by that area so they know when to pop out.
Yeah.
So that's very cool that, again, they really came at Tommy. They came at me, especially when we were filming. So that was very cool. So
and Ethan, when he was live streaming, he was getting some solid TikTok live streams.
Oh God, yeah, dude. It was absolutely awesome. Should we do one more house?
Yeah.
What house do you want to do?
I think probably on your page.
All right, so let me go to my page real quick. All right, let me go.
We got some solid footage. Like I said, I'm gonna hit back there. Just GA early admission. I'm going to try and do some hit or miss food reviews. I'm going to try and get some. I'm going to look at the capacity of the houses. I'm going to do early entry, so I'll show you what 4 houses to hit first. I honestly think you should hit Insidious first.
Yes.
And then Ghostbusters, and then double down, go to Texas in the weekend. I didn't do that the whole weekend. I'm going to test it out on the 27th.
Oh, definitely. So what we're going to do, we're going to watch the house Universal Monsters External Bloodline. We're going to watch that, and then I'm going to give everyone an update on what the house times are looking at this current moment. So because HHN is going on right now, a good friend of the channel, Mondo from Five Fires, and his friend Junior, Universal Disney fan, are there right now doing the RIP tour. So I'm hopefully they're having a lot of fun. I'm sure they are. But this house, so you and me both love this house. This was in Soundstage 12, which the event has never had a HHN property whatsoever in Soundstage 12. A lot of movie history was shot in this soundstage with the Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, You got a lot of classic horror movies. The Grinch was filmed in here. Phantom of the Opera. The list goes on. Jurassic Park. Bunch of movies were shot in here.
Scarface.
Scarface. Yep. Scarface was an absolute definite movie you should watch if you haven't seen it. Al Pacino in his prime. Absolutely.
This house is solid.
So do you want to go into kind of like detail why you think that? I think so too. I want to hear your opinion.
So the two best houses with the best story was Dead Exposure, so I'll bring that. And then this by far was number one. This had the best story. We don't have everything here. Right here, the Bride of Frankenstein would come out, shoot at Van Helsing and miss and hit a monster. We don't have that right here, unfortunately. It wasn't there 3 out of the 4 times I walked through it, but the solidness of this story is crazy. Then they have her talking right here, showing the picture, and then the progression of the story is just so cool. And this house had a lot of budget too, being in Studio Soundstage 12.
Yeah, because Soundstage 12, I think even to this very day, at least on the Universal lot, it's one of the biggest original sound stages on the movie lot as it sits today. So I'm very glad we were able to get the sound stage. I'm glad John Murdy was able to hook us up for that. And not just me and Tommy, but everybody. So I'm glad we were able to step foot in basically movie history. It was definitely a very awesome experience because, as many of you do know, the theme park is expanding, and more than likely, Soundstage 12 in the next maybe 1 to 3 years from now is not going to be existing anymore, from what I understand. Again, that's not confirmed, but that is rumor. To make way for theme park space. So I'm glad John Murdy was at least able to lock it in for this year.
Yeah, this felt like a castle, bro.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, right there, too. Look at that.
Yeah, that was dope.
And then there's a jump scare right here.
that was fire.
I didn't really know that, going in, I didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out SoCal Pals. I seen them comment to John Murdy that they want Universal Monsters versus Universal Monsters, the males versus females.
That would be dope. I would be so down for that. This scene right here was pretty graphic, but awesome.
It was.
Just rips her head off and shoves her severed head in my face. That was awesome.
And then here we go. My favorite part, huh? Is it coming up?
I think so. We're walking through like a dead space right here. I think it was like...
But... Oh, I don't know, actually. It might not be right now.
It might be coming up. I know there was more scenes coming up right here. Let me see. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. Having her right there, that was pretty cool. And again, there's going to be different variations of that was cool. I literally got scared. So, Tommy, on that, let's play that one more time. Yeah, that was dope. You said when you went through that one scene right there, Frankenstein almost fell. What was that all?
Yeah. So he's on stilts. He comes out, but then he walks backwards without looking.
Yeah.
So, man, he just doesn't watch where he's going.
that was a trip right there, because I thought, okay, I'm exiting, and she just comes out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, those 3 scary. It was Wolfman, and then Frankenstein, and then I don't know, who was that, Cleopatra? Or
I think it was Cleopatra or some character like that.
From The Mummy, yeah.
Yeah, some character like that. And then this is the Purge show. We're not going to watch all this because Tommy has to. Well, we'll watch. You know what? Actually, I'm going to save this for the fans. I think we can crank one more video out to watch. I want to show. I want to show. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. I want to show dead exposure.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to show dead exposure real quick. Let me see if I could find that, because we're gonna end the live stream on at 8:30 here. But I want to show that. See if it'll cooperate and let me do it. It should. You know. Hold on, I'll go to videos because that slide action is not working. Here it is. All right, dead exposure. All right, let's get into this. So first of all, dead exposure. First of all, what did you think of the facade?
Man, every facade was going crazy. This one was insane. That actor wasn't there all the time. That's like the dead army guy. But
right
out. That was a solid one. You got a good hit on that.
Yeah, I literally hit the van because he literally came like inches from my face. Wow. Oh my God. There was one element, and we will point it out when we get to it. There was one scare actor people have been asking about, but again, since it was so hot, so humid, that actor was not in there all the time. It was pretty weird. But we'll talk about it when we get to it, because I don't want to spoil anything until we get there.
Hopefully you'll be there when I go this next time, you know.
Yeah. Is that kind of why you didn't upload the POV yet? Because you want to see if you could try to get that?
No, I have them all uploaded. I'm ready to fire off, bro. I'm going to drop the weekend one tonight at 9.
Okay, perfect. So while we're watching this, Tommy, if you're not following him, TommyToonWorld, again, he has a lot of great POVs, just like you're watching here, because we were together all weekend, opening weekend of HHN. He has a lot of great food reviews coming out. He's going to be putting out a Hello Kitty cafe food review, because we waited almost. So right here was a giant ape, like ape scientist. Mm-hmm. He wasn't in there because of
ripping the body up.
Yeah. But going back to your channel, though, you have a lot of great content. And the Hello Kitty, oh my God, dude. I kid you not, the drinks were good. The snacks that you had, I kind of tried it. It was awesome. This was a good scare. Basically, it was all great. But waiting 2 hours and 45 minutes for the grand opening, that was rough. Being in that
heat. It was rough. I admit next year, our strategy for Universal Studios Hollywood for Horror Nights is pretty solid. We can't do nothing during the day unless it's just like live streams or eating. We can't be out, especially in 110-degree heat. It drags you out, man. But I honestly do think early entry every night is the best route.
Yeah.
Every night, no matter what.
Oh, I 100% think so. Again, we had a very solid lineup this year. I don't think there was really any gray areas that I can think of. Maybe The Quiet Place had its moments, but Ghostbusters, as much as people kind of hated on it at first when they first announced it for the event, I think they went hard with the decor, the scare actors, everything. I thought Ghostbusters was an absolute great house to go through. Just nostalgia.
I agree with you. Big time, Conductor. The budget was there. It was the shortest house, but the budget was there. You know, the main two houses I heard people having gripes about, like just talking throughout the weekend there at the park, was people saying they didn't like the weekend. It was redundant or repetitive, and Ghostbusters just wasn't scary. But for me, the most lackluster house was Monstros.
And for you to say Monstros, why was that?
I liked the story. I liked the guy in the sombrero. The best part was the claws underneath the bed. I don't know if it's what monster that is. That one was crazy. I just feel like I didn't get all the scare actors or something. So maybe it could redeem it when I go back.
Sure. Because I have to tell you, from people I've seen online on Twitter, on Instagram, even on YouTube. So the Florida version of HHN, because they got the monsters we had, monsters we had last year, and they said it's a popular house out there right now because
it looks a little different. I mean, they went through a Mexican woman's house,
sure,
and like she's pregnant, and
yeah.
it's like you're in Mexico actually, like you're just in a Mexican house. It doesn't look like our house at all if you check it out.
Sure. So I want to go over the times. I can't bring it on the screen because I couldn't figure out how to do it online. But I'm going to tell you what the wait times are, and I want to get your reaction to it, Tommy. So
Okay.
the first thing, Terror Tram, 5 minutes. That's the
I
first
love
thing.
it. And it's nighttime. I'm going straight to that. That will get the party started.
Absolutely. So on the upper lot in the former Walking Dead location, the Quiet Place, 15 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, Monstros. We're right behind the plaza next to Mel's Diner, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Ghostbusters, 25
40.
minutes.
Whew.
Dead Exposure, which is behind the Mummy, 30 minutes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Universal Bloodlines, that's in Soundstage 12.
10 minutes.
35 minutes.
35?
35 minutes. Yep.
What? That house is blowing up.
Oh, yeah. Insidious, 40 minutes.
What? No one's there tonight.
No, God, no. And then The Weekend, 55 minutes.
I'm trying to tell you. Texas, 45.
An hour.
Really?
Yeah, Texas is an hour as we're talking right now at 8:26 at night.
All right. So second weekend is totally opposite. It's starting out Thursday at least. We'll have to see how Friday, Saturday, Sunday goes. Conductor, keep an eye out on the wait times.
I will.
Because Insidious was 80. And now it's kind of switching places with Texas.
It is. But you do have to understand, though. There and you and me both know this because we trekked it back there multiple times over the 3 days. It's a long walk because you have to walk through Harry Potter all the way to the back of the land of Harry Potter, walk behind backstage, to walk down a hill to get to walk down to get to Insidious and Ghostbusters. So are you really surprised that those have low wait times?
Wow, that is a far walk, but they give you a lot to look at. They put these projections on the side of a building, and it shows Insidious or Ghostbusters, or it says Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
I just love all the little things they add to it. And you know what? If it's not hot, I don't mind walking back there because we never get to go around there any other time of the year.
Hey, so shout out your buddy. Your buddy's watching this stream right now. Look who just commented. Haunters Unite, Andre. Insidious and Orlando, 75 minutes.
Oh my God. What's up, Andre?
Yeah,
that's crazy time.
Absolutely. Andre is a great friend of the channel. I've known him since grade school, and we are actually all three of us are going to be at Not Scary Farm coming up. So definitely follow TommyToonWorld. Definitely follow me, ThemeParkConductor, on our YouTube channels. Follow us on our socials, and both of all of our links for our content is down in the description. So definitely follow us and turn your notification bells on, because like I said, I have some amazing content coming up. Tommy definitely has amazing content coming up. But are you really shocked by Orlando having a 75-minute wait for Insidious? And they've had the event open for about, I think, 3 weeks now.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I heard that's the most terrifying house there. I'm cool with that. Just check the walkthrough. Watch the walkthrough online. Check out Ordinary Adventures or something, and compare it to ours and see. I like the red door that you walk through.
Yeah.
It definitely looks good. I can't believe 75 is insane.
Yeah. Hey, one of the things I do want to point out is the fact that so the last thing I want to bring up before we go is the scare or the crows,
Murder of Crows.
the murder of crows. What did you think about that?
I loved all the scare zones this year. My favorite one was the Luchadores one, but the Murder of Crows was right after, because the baby crow is this fixture that everybody wants to look at because it's really bright. They shine a really big light on it. And then you go and take pictures or videotape, or you're over there having fun. And then the mother comes over really upset, and she started flocking next to me. She put her wings around me, and she started shaking her head like, get away from my baby.
It's actually funny. It's a crack up. Just to end this, Tommy was doing that, and I was kind of like maybe about 5-10 feet away. And I'm literally watching him because I'm playing around with my phone, trying to I was trying to do something with my phone. I look over and Tommy's filming that, and like Tommy said, the mother crow comes over, puts her wings over him, and then almost like in full motion starts to peck at Tommy. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And talk about like a scare actor interacting with guests. You can't tell me that you can get that type of interaction at any other Halloween event at any other theme park that I know of.
Because even the last night we were there, that mother was giving you some good shots.
Oh yeah,
right in your camera.
Yeah, she was coming right at me too. She was chasing me. I'm like, holy shit! I thought she was following me.
Yeah, but they're professional.
Oh yeah, but the close it out though. I told you this while we're at the event last year. I think where Insidious and Ghostbusters are this year, they did have the crows walking around on their stilts in that H slot. I did see one of them fall over. So when you're around them, it's cool to get close, but don't get too close, because if it gets too crowded, because they can't stay in one spot for long because it's hard on them. They have to constantly be moving around. Just know that there's always that chance they might fall. And if you're right underneath them, you're going to become a casualty. And I don't think you want that. So just keep that in mind. Definitely keep that.
I got 2 honorable mentions. I like the Taki mac and cheese at the Minions Cafe. That is super secluded in the corner. I didn't even know that was an item coming out for Halloween. And then another honorable mention, I have to say, A Quiet Place's Puppeteers were really good, but that is a short house like Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, but definitely the Puppeteer in that house was definitely A+. I don't know how the version in Orlando. I think they have that house in Orlando. I don't know how their version is, but I kind of feel like our version would be superior.
Yeah, and one thing I'm kind of upset that Orlando got, they got the red door empanada.
Yeah,
Insidious. We didn't get that over here.
It's funny because a lot of people were saying the same thing about the Ghostbuster treat, because you tried that, the Marshmallow Man, because they had actual clips that people put online of someone filming, and all you see is the Marshmallow Man on the s'more getting melted by a flame torch, and that was cool. And a lot of people are like, I hope we get that here in Hollywood, and we wound up getting it. And you actually do have a food review on that, so I think you're going to put that up in the next couple of days.
So my schedule right now is the RIP tour video is going to be 10 to 15 minutes. I'm dropping that on Saturday. I'm pushing that one tough. Then, of course, I'm going to release all the rest of the POVs. Then I have GA early entry, that video. Then I have night 3. I have Express Unlimited early entry. So I'm going to pump all these out. I think I'm going to put the food reviews separate. Just wait on it. They're coming. Yep. If you're getting antsy, go to my Instagram and look at my page. I got a lot on there.
Absolutely. And like I said at the very beginning, I do have all of Tommy's social medias, including his YouTube channel, in the description down below. I want to thank you, Tommy, for being on the show. It was an absolute enjoyment spending that time with you opening weekend, even though we were basically dying and kind of looking like these guys on the screen melting. But it was definitely a fun time, especially doing the Hello Kitty Cafe. That was a lot of fun too. I just want to remind people, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, of course. So Theme Park Conductor, it was a solid weekend. We're locked in all weekend. We kept pushing all the way through. We met up with a lot of people. We met up with Five Fires. We met up with Theme Park Wizard. I'm going to meet up with my boy Meech next time. You know what? We had a solid weekend. I could have not had a better time. We saw John Murdy. Me and you keep pushing, man. Solid partner. You could find me at TommyToon_ on Instagram. That's where you could talk to me. I could probably answer you on there. YouTube and Twitter or X, it's TommyToonWorld. You know, my TikTok's not popping that much, but it's TommyToon_world. Just check him out. Check out Theme Park Conductor's videos. He's rocking with these lives. You never know when he's going to go live. You never know when he's going to be at the park.
Absolutely. And I'm going to try to be at Universal maybe this coming Thursday, or even a couple Thursdays from now, because I know I'm going to try to lock in the knots with you and Andre on, I think it's September the 26th, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
You got it. Thursday, September 26th. I'm going to be out there Wednesday the 25th, hitting the Legacy store, getting some good old Knott's fried chicken. And then me, Theme Park Conductor, and Scary Dre are locking in everything. I'm going to get them in the video. Hopefully you do a live stream. It's going to be a fun time at Scary Farm.
Absolutely. Hopefully, because I'm hopefully planning. This is just a channel update. I am going to try to go pre-order the iPhone 16 Pro Max tomorrow at my local Verizon store. So hopefully that goes smooth. Hopefully there's no problems. Even though the stores kind of like throw this little, oh, well, if you saw in the little tiny description and where you need a microfied glass to see it, you know, you can. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If I do have the 16 Pro Max, I don't know how many of you watched the Apple event, but it has so much to offer for the average content creator, and especially this music video that The Weeknd is dropping tonight at 9 p.m., which is literally 20 minutes from now. They did say that the music video was completely shot on the 16 Pro Max. There was no IMAX cameras. They just used that phone. So when you watch it, you can see how much capability the iPhone has. So I'm hoping I have that for Not Scary Farm. But yeah, definitely check out TommyToonWorld. He's a great friend of the channel. Just a great friend in the present. I'm glad I met you opening weekend at Super Nintendo World. You're a dear friend of mine. You will always be a dear friend of mine, and I'm glad we're able to hang out as much as we can. Again, thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. You can find me, Theme Park Conductor, on Instagram and YouTube at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on Twitter, known as X, at Theme Conductor. You can also find me on Discord, and you can find me on Threads. I have all the links down in the description. Next week, I am going to do, I think, one more live stream. I think, if I'm not mistaken, next week will be my only time to do a Conductor Thursday live stream, because I think the week after that is going to be that Knott's trip with TommyToonWorld and Scary Dre. So definitely stay tuned for that. I want to thank everyone for joining, and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful night. And please stay cool out there. Please stay hydrated, and please be safe. Peace.